So tonight we saw MaXXXine in theaters, and this is a really good movie. I definitely, absolutely recommend it. MaXXXine completes the trilogy with X and Pearl. You have X, which came out first, and then Pearl, which was a prequel to X, and now MaXXXine, which is a sequel to X. MaXXXine follows the character of MaXXXine, played brilliantly by Mia Goth. It's now the 1980s. She's doing porn. She wants to get more famous and branch out in the genres that are not porn. And meanwhile, in LA, there's a serial killer on the loose killing people. So you have a lot of things going on here. This is a very entertaining film. Mia Goth, the standout of the film as MaXXXine, and the standout of the franchise. She played two characters in this trilogy and did a really good job at it. Another standout was Kevin Bacon as his private detective. I feel like he stole all the scenes he was in. He was really good. I like the story of this film. I like how it was shot and directed by Ty West. I like how they wrote it. It was really unique, a really good shot in a really unique way, and how it depicted the 1980s. It was really cool, a cool vibe and feel, and a really awesome use of music. I really like Ty West's work, and you know, his great work carries on through the film of MaXXXine. I'm excited to see what he has to do next. MaXXXine was not that scary. It definitely had its elements of suspense, but it lacked the horror that the first two have. So now I'm going to get into that. I feel like MaXXXine, though really good, was the weakest of the trilogy, which is fine because it's the weakest of, you know, three really good films. So there's that. I mean, I think X was the best, and then Pearl, which was close to X, but I did like X better, and then MaXXXine. So MaXXXine was the weakest of three really good films, but it did a really good job at closing off this trilogy and telling me the story of the character of MaXXXine. And just a huge credit to Ty West, who wrote and directed MaXXXine, but also wrote and directed X and Pearl. Clearly, he had a lot of passion, and he had a vision and something he wanted to tell here, and I think he definitely achieved that and put together this trilogy where each film stands out on its own and is shot in its own very unique way, separate and apart from the other films in the trilogy. You have MaXXXine that takes place in the 1980s, X in the 1970s, and Pearl in 1918. So you have the same overarching story and themes, but three different time periods. But they're all separate from each other, these films, but they all go together really well, and that's a huge compliment to Ty West. I've never seen, or at least I can't think of right now, anyone who has done something like that with a trilogy, which is why this is one of my favorite trilogies ever. A lot of times when you see these films that are continuations of the story, they just do the same formula to push out the same thing, hoping they're going to sell a bunch of tickets. Ty West did something different here, and I just so recommend this trilogy, and I so recommend MaXXXine. So enjoy it.